So I guess if we're going to play with this little project over the weekend, I'll scooch in here a sec. I may as well do it in front of you. I want to put out a disclaimer first. The only reason that I'm doing it the way I'm doing it is because this is my painting. It's probably 2, maybe maximum 3 years old. I know exactly what I've put on it for a varnish, and I'm responsible for this only. A conservateur, well, the process that they use is parallel to what I'm going to do right now, but it's much finer and much fussier. So I'm going to remove the varnish right now. I'm just taking a bit of paint thinner, plain old paint thinner. Nothing too strong. Turpentine's fine too. Actually, turpentine. And of course you could use mineral spirits. You don't want to use anything too strong. Okay. I've squeezed out the excess. And normally this would be laying on a table flat with better lighting than what I have right now. I'm not too worried about the very bottom. I'm not changing anything on the bottom, and even the very top I'm really not doing too much on. But I'm not applying a lot of pressure. I'm just kind of allowing the bottom of the cotton swab. And yes, you want to use cotton. Do not use a synthetic material. Now I have a dry swab, and I am picking up the residue from the wet one. Back to the wet one. I've flipped sides. So we're using cleaner stuff again. Back to the dry one. Pick up the excess moisture. I really shouldn't call it moisture because it's not water. Back to the wet one. I'm going to go over the water, and I'm not touching the very foreground because as I said, I don't have to worry about that. Okay, garbage. I looked at it, I saw that it's not picking up any paint. But I know that I've pulled the varnish off. And if every little speck of varnish is not off, that's okay. It's not a big deal. What you want is to get the bulk of it off of there. Alright. Now, as I said, if you're going to clean an old painting, don't do it this way. It's a different system. I've done it. Believe me, it's a different system. I'm actually somewhat trained in restoration, so I do have some idea what I'm talking about. Now what I'm going to have to do before I go into painting it is, because it's a cotton swab, it'll leave little hairs here and there, little strands of cotton that are left on the painting that got caught by bits of paint that are sticking up. So that's all I have to do. Takes most of the gloss off, and now it's ready for me to go into with oil paint. The varnish that I use and have used in recent years it's made by Krylon. It's called Kamar varnish. The product number is 31412. I am pretty sure. I'm actually quite sure, 31412. It's designed to be a removable varnish, which is pretty much synonymous with a retouch varnish. You only apply it very lightly. You don't try to get a high gloss out of it. You should never varnish a painting with a finished varnish until, I'm talking about an oil painting now, for say 8 months or so. A year is safe. Then you can put the final varnish on there if you want a high gloss. the idea of retouch varnish centuries ago really was only to keep all of the colors looking a bit wet, because that would help with your value and chroma adjustment and color adjustment. The old masters used that process, and you could actually paint right over it. That consisted of Damar and turpentine and maybe a bit of cobalt. Probably not in most cases. Anyway, I'm blithering again. Okay, so that's clean enough. I will start painting on this tomorrow. See you then.